So, John, we're going to get into the first conversation here of the show, and that goes into the Alabama running back room. And can the Crimson Tide have two 1,000-yard backs for this upcoming season? I understand we're in a day and age now in college football where it's more so of a passing game, wanting the quarterback to be more so of the star, having these offensive coordinators to put together these different schemes to offset defenses. But at the same time, a lot of the Alabama fan base wants to return to a power running game, having a strong offensive line, bullying defensive linemen, outside linebackers, and linebackers, period, off the football, creating those running lanes for backs. And while we want the best of both worlds here, the question becomes, for Alabama football in today's culture of the sport, can it have two 1,000-yard backs here on the roster? And for me, I think it can. I think this will be done in a different situation. I think this will be unique, but I think Alabama can have two 1,000-yard backs. And the two guys I'm referring to, I look at Jahmyr Gibbs and Jase McClellan. I think these two can have a 1,000-yard season. Now, will it be of the grinded out, ground and pound, 1,000-yard campaign? No. I think it'll be a situation where they'll get some of their yardage on the ground. Some of their yardage will come out the backfield as receivers, as pass-catching weapons. And then some of their yards could come from the special teams aspect, that being kickoff return and punt return. But I do see both of these two guys hitting that 1,000-yard plus mark here. And starting this thing off here with Jahmyr Gibbs, the talent he brings from Georgia Tech as a transfer, you go back to the 2021 season where he had, I believe, 740 yards rushing, 470 yards receiving, 589 kickoff return yards, and 7 total touchdowns, which brought him to 1,800 all-purpose yards and 7 scores. So he does a little bit of everything at 5'11", 200 pounds. We see the burst, we see the quickness, the explosiveness, the acceleration, the gear to go from the first level to the 5th, 6th, 7th level, getting up and down the field on opposing defenses as a runner. As a receiver, we see the soft hands, the pass-catching ability that he possesses, but of course, in the special teams aspect as well, he brings all three of those components to the table. Now, when you look at Jase McClellan here for a minute here with Jase, he gives you more of a balance in the rushing attack and passing game. Now, prior to sustaining a knee injury against Ole Miss, Jase McClellan was giving you, 190 yards rushing with a touchdown. He was also giving you 10 catches for 97 yards and 3 scores out the backfield. So he was a do-it-all type of back. And this offseason, he's been working with Brad Lester, former Auburn running back, but also the founder of the Speed Genius Department, Speed Genius Training Facility down there in Atlanta, Georgia. So you have two guys here in McClellan and Gibbs. They can give you multiple things out of the backfield. And because they can do this, I see them being 1,000-yard weapons as all-purpose backs here. Now, when you discuss the last time Alabama had two 1,000-yard backs on the roster, you would have to go back to 2012 where it had Eddie Lacy and T.J. Yeldon. Both were 1,000-yard backs. I think Eddie Lacy had 1,322. T.J. Yeldon, 1,108. Now, this is a different time now in college football than what it was then. That 2012 offensive line, you can ground and pound and get it done. Because you had Barrett Jones, you had DJ Fluker, you had Chance Warmack, you had guys, those big horses that opened up those lanes, William Vlahos as well. You had those big horses that opened up those lanes to create those opportunities in the run game for, those two guys. But in today's era of college football, especially where you're recruiting running backs that can do everything, right? Not just ground and pound, but can catch the ball at the backfield, can pass protect, can stretch out or can split out wide as another receiver that can do just several things. You want to be dynamic in every phase here of the game, especially how running backs are being drafted in today's NFL. You're not just having that one sort of bell cow back anymore. That guy's got to do everything from running the football to catching the football to pass protection to probably even doing some things on special teams as well. So just to me here, I see a scenario where Alabama can have two 1,000-yard backs, but I think this will be more so of the all-purpose variety where Gibbs and McClellan running the ball in between the tackles, getting out in space, doing their thing on the outside, but then also catching the ball out the backfield, maybe getting some snaps at wide receiver, and then in sense of Gibbs and the kickoff return, punt return aspect, doing his thing there as well.